Everybody wants to know, how do I not give a fuck? There's this whole thing about detachment and all this stuff going around, and by the end of the video, you're gonna know exactly how to. Now, I just want to preface real quick, there's a lot of toxicity behind not giving a fuck. It's sort of like carelessness, disrespect, and that is not what I am teaching. I'm a very caring person. I don't disrespect people. I don't tolerate disrespect. But I care in a healthy way. And that's exactly what I'm going to be teaching you how to do, is to stop caring and being bothered by things that are, essentially you don't want to get bothered by them and they're useless to your time. So it looks like I might not give a fuck, but it's just I'm very confident and careful with where I put my energy, which is exactly what you need to be doing. So we're not going to be operating off of ego, because everybody, this whole detachment thing is so taken out of context and so flawed that people don't understand what the actual definition is. And I'm going to tell you exactly how to be detached, how to be not give a fuck, pretty much. And just live your best life, because you wouldn't want to do that. And how I'm going to teach you this is through teaching you about Stoicism, the philosophy. Now, Stoicism is a philosophy which talks about virtue, goodness, detachment, basically self-mastery, and not being impacted by things externally in your environment, and being so in control of yourself and your mind that you are just kind of at peace this whole time. Now, what I used to do was I used to study this philosophy. I'm going to show you a book that I read, and it was simple quotes. It wasn't like a deep, difficult philosophy, but it was quotes from the three Stoics, which are Epictetus, Seneca, and Aurelius. And I would look at these quotes, not lick these quotes, Christ, let's not do that. And by exposing yourself more to something, you're going to drill it into your brain, right? And whenever I get the chance in my life, what I would do is try to incorporate the quote into my life, and I'm going to tell you different ways you can do that. Now, this is the book that I'm going to be talking to you about today. It's 365 lessons from the Stoics. It's got a mix of all of them, so I'd really recommend this if you're looking into Stoicism. Or you could get meditations, those, all of them. But these have got the quotes of multiple different books, and I'm going to read one out to you about detachment real quick. Remember then that if you think the things which are by nature slavish to be free, and the things which are in the power of others to be your own, you will be hindered. You will lament, you will be disturbed, you will blame both gods and men. Dissecting this, it's got a very simple message. It's sort of saying, if you start to think that something out of your control is in your control, you're going to hate your life. It's very simple, right? But hearing it in this way, said in this manner, was so eye-opening to me. And I was like, that's so true. By the force of nature, that Stoics also talk about the nature, and how everything that happens is in accordance to nature. So if I'm sitting here saying I'm mad that this happened, I'm mad, I'm irritated, this, that, it's very silly, because everything happens in accordance with nature. So there is nothing that is truly bad, which is a beautiful view, and it makes me care a lot less. Of course I care more than most people about the right things, but if somebody disrespects me, of course, I do get a little bit irritated. I'm this type of person. However, I don't hold on to things. I really let them go, and I don't overthink, and I don't sit here, and I don't do that, because I know that everything happens in accordance with nature. Again, there is no point of me lamenting, because thinking that way is not going to do anything. And again, these quotes might sound so silly or small or very obvious, but when you start exposing yourself to them more, you realize, hold on, I'm doing all of these things. I'm not doing any of these things. I need to actually, and the more you expose yourself to them, the more you're going to have the opportunity to actually act on them in your real life. And it's so, so beneficial. Right, so number one, I would read on the Stoics. I study, as you can see. I'd listen to the Stoics. You can listen to the Stoic podcast on Spotify. You can watch videos on the Stoics, right? This is something I'd like to study for the rest of my life, because it's such an aspirational. I think if you're religious, I feel like a lot of religious figures, Jesus Christ, all these people, they're Stoic, essentially. They are Stoic. And it's so nice to see that these aren't prophets, and they're people, and they act this way. It's you know what? We can just try to be the best we can be. And ironically, being the best person makes you the most careless. Might sound a bit crazy, but it's really not, because I've experienced being an irritating motherfucker. I've experienced being a very peaceful and kind motherfucker, and usually I'm careless. I don't really give a shit if I'm the better person. So I read and I practiced reacting in real time. So every time somebody would say something, if you get rage baited by a family member, I'm sure everybody can get rage baited by their mum, no shade, love you. But it's sort of being able to remember the quote in your head, or somewhere along the lines of the principles. It gives you a guideline to follow, right? So if I remember that, and I'm what would a Stoic person do? Take a second before you react. Or maybe say to yourself, this is out of my control. By me sitting here and saying this is out of my control and not being so like up the arse of why did you do this? You need to fix this. I just kind of said, okay, I'm not doing shit. Like doing a lap dance, like what are we saying? This creates a lot of long-term peace, right? The long-term peace is gonna stay. And over time, I've just got more and more peaceful. And like, there's people that I've lost in the most horror betraying way. Like I'm thinking even like, someone's like really switched up and said like terrible things to me. And I'm like, damn. Oh, I apologize if anything like that happened. Or like, if there's anything I can do to help, let me know. And then I just leave it and I get over it. Like, it's that simple because I do the right thing regardless, which is going to move me on to my next point, which is talking about how Stoicism focuses a lot about your character. And when you focus on your character, you get rid of distractions around you. You get rid of like, oh, I need to control what this person's doing. I was always a very like, not controlling, but I'm a very stubborn person. I'm still very strong in my beliefs. If somebody does something that is like, it's wrong or something, I'm like, no, how can you do something wrong? Like, no, you need to, no. Like, I need to sort this out. I had that sort of like, that's kind of was in my nature. But now I'm so like the opposite, which would say that you don't really care. Like, that's why I guess it seems like I don't care, but I do, just in the correct ways. You need to be very careful with where you put your energy. So Stoicism focuses a lot on your morals and your knowledge. And ever since I've started to focus on these things, I feel so good in myself because I'm like, well, I follow my morals, I follow my things. So regardless of what anyone else is going to do, I'm still going to do the right thing. I obviously have flaws, I'm a human, but that's what I'm gonna do. And that's why I feel okay. And I'm not like sitting here lamenting about something that happened the other week. Like, no, I just know that I do the right thing and I'm too focused on building my mind and helping other people that it's like, that's not even in my head anymore. This little quote that I've got is nobility of thought. Strive to be, I swear, I'm a really good reader. I don't know what's going on. I think I'm getting like camera shy. I don't know why I'm getting camera shy. I'm literally an actor, but whatever. I'm just lying, whatever. I need to shut up sometimes. Strive to continue to be such as philosophy wished to make thee. Reverence the gods and help men. Short is life. There is only one fruit of this terrene life, a pious disposition and social acts. I feel like the way they speak about it is so like, damn, that is inspirational. That is like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like a lord of the country right now. No, but honestly, it's so aspirational. Like that is one thing about nobility of thought. It just makes me like, wow, like there is so much more to life. And the more you expose yourself, read one quote a day, you will be a different person by the end of the year. As long as you actually pay attention to it and have the intention of like, okay, I want to enforce this into my life, you're set. Got another one about detachment for you. For freedom is acquired not by the full possession of the things which are desired, but by removing the desire. That's a beautiful one. A nice one about detachment as well. This one says, it is not that which has happened that afflicts this man, for it does not afflict another, but it is the opinion about this thing which afflicts the man. It talks about how obviously your opinion about what is being said to you is the harmful thing. It's just how you work. And it's so important to be made aware of these things because then you realize, hold on, my opinion about this doesn't have to be that bad. I always see the good in people, and that brings me a lot of peace. I feel like it gives me peace in my heart to just be like, there is no such thing as a bad person. Everybody does stuff, through their own thing, because I don't like holding anything against people. And by letting that go, letting that type of thing go, it just makes you, it will help you just be such a better person yourself and not give a single fuck. So I hope you enjoyed and you learn how to be stoic. I'm still working on myself. I'm not perfect and I don't expect anybody else to be perfect, but it's just by reading and studying this philosophy, it's not a complicated philosophy. Anybody can learn into it. You just have to read the quotes and just take whatever you can from them. They make a lot of sense. They're very simple to understand. And just think of applying them to your life. Think of where can I apply this? Or just be aware of it because awareness is so incredibly powerful. I would recommend looking into the 3 Stoics. I would recommend this book actually because it kind of covers all 3. Obviously not all of them like in terms of like all of their quotes, but it's got a decent amount in them. As you can tell, I liked a bit too many of the quotes. But yeah, this is 365 lessons from the Stoics. Or you can get Meditations by Aurelius, Letters from a Stoic. Study the 3 big Stoics, which are Seneca, big Stoics, Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius. I hope you enjoyed. Don't give a fuck. It's 2026. Stop giving a fuck about the wrong things and give yourself some peace by studying Stoic philosophy. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.